Hey, this is Skylar, and I wanted to talk to you guys about one of my favorite plants um, in the universe. Actually, I have many, but this is one of my favorites. I wanted to talk to you guys about the plant, but I also wanted to talk to you guys about etymology, which is the origin of words. You'll see what that has to do with it in a minute. My favorite plant is licorice, and the species name, the scientific name of the species is Glycyrrhiza glabra. Glycyrrhiza glabra, I really like the name of that because even though those two words are not the same, it sounds like another one of my favorite words, which is glycerin. They kind of sound similar. And that is because Glycyrrhiza glabra comes from the Greek word for sweet, which is glycyrrhiza, which means sweet root, which that Greek word, that's also where that's also a similar one to the word that glycerin came from, which is gluco, which means sweet. If you think about it, also sounds, like another English word, which is glucose. If you've ever heard of blood glucose, blood sugar, that kind of makes sense. So the reason I like the word glycyrrhiza glabra, again, is because it sounds similar to the word glycerin. Now, glycyrrhiza glabra, which is licorice, has a compound in it called glycyrrhizin. It is sweeter than sucrose, which is table sugar. Like, I have peppermint and licorice tea, and I do not need any sweeteners for it at all. Usually when I make teas or coffees, I usually add stevia, but I did not even need to add stevia to this licorice tea because glycyrrhizin is sweeter than sucrose, like I said, and so it did not need any sweeteners. Now, with glycyrrhizin, your taste buds take longer to pick up on the sweetness. Like, it takes a few seconds, but it's worth it because it's so slayer. Now there are some if too much glycyrrhizin is toxic because it can lower your potassium. I mean, it can do a whole bunch of, not good things to your heart if you take too much of it. But I don't take too much of it. I only drink my peppermint and licorice tea, like if I'm having a grumpy day or if I get back from, the devil's chamber, which is my term for lab. Or if I'm having a licorice craving, like if I just woke up from a licorice dream, I will drink some licorice tea just to get that flavor. Most licorice candies in the United States, however, do not contain any glycyrrhiza glabra. Most licorice candies in the United States actually contain anise, which is a totally different plant. It tastes similar, but they are not related in any way, shape, or form, and they are completely different. So most so-called licorice candies in the U.S. do not actually contain licorice, or as it's called in science, Glycyrrhiza glabra. That's the science species name. Now, I also like the word licorice itself because it kind of sounds like yet another one of my favorite words, liquor. And actually, in the UK, it can actually be spelt Liquorice. For real. If you don't believe me, please look it up. Now, in the United States, obviously, we spell it Licorrice. But in the UK, they spell it Liquorice. Now, the licorice tea that I got from the peppermint and licorice tea that I was talking to you about earlier, It's from the UK, and I'm pretty sure it actually contains glycyrrhiza glabra because glycyrrhiza glabra is native to like Asia and Europe and the Mediterraneans. So, and I also heard that it can be used like to quench thirst because the root holds a lot of water. The main taproot that we harvest holds a lot of water. So you could, like, if you were going, I heard that Alexander the Great used it, to kind of quench his thirst. I don't know how he got the liquid out, but uh, I've heard that. And I mean, it's just a pretty slayer plant. See, I'm also a woods fanatic, and Glycyrrhiza glabra has a woodsy taste, so I like it. I started dabbling in licorice when I was 13, black licorice, but I didn't know all that I know now. So I'm just now finding out, all the etymology and all the words and how they're related. Because when I was looking up licorice, I found out that the species name was Glycyrrhiza glabra, and I just knew by the way it's spelt and by the way it sounds that it had to have some type of etymological connection to the word glycerin, and actually it does. Like I said, the Greek word gluco, which means sweet. Like I said, if you think about it, blood glucose, which is blood sugar. So, yeah, there's a lot of English words that we get from that word. So, and come to find out, they were both discovered, both glycerin and Glycyrrhiza glabra were both discovered and coined by French people. So, which is pretty slayer. So it's a circle of words, I guess you could call it. I like both. I just like the way they sound. And I love the plant. So if you have anything that I might have gotten wrong, or anything that I might have left off, or anything that you would like, to say about this video, feel free to leave it in the comments. And I hope, Lisa, that you got some information out of this video. Thank you.